Hey team, Yasin here, and in this training we are going to be talking about the glue that holds your system together. I know it's a little bit of an abstract title, but we are going to go ahead and dive into how you can go ahead and shake hands with the machine and make sure that you are set up with the foundational software stack that is going to allow you to be able to create your income online. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Why is this training important? Of course, inside of this training we are continuing our theme of launching your remote wellness practice version 1.0 and completing the final trainings for you to go ahead and get your remote wellness certification. All right. Now, the very first thing that we want to go ahead and talk about is what exactly is the glue that holds your system together. And so inside of this training, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to be breaking down what is known as your software stack. Okay. What that means is that these are all of the tools that are needed in order to run your online business, right? This is the glue that holds all of your calendar, your website, your email, your agreements, your onboarding, your student community, your student reminders, your advertising reporting, and so much more, all of that together. This is the critical glue that is the foundational piece of your system and holds everything together. And so also inside of this training, in addition to talking about your software stack, we're also going to be going over how RWA is going to be taken care of for you on your behalf, over $1,000 plus per month in software expenses every single month. Say what? Coach Yasin, what are you saying? Yes, you heard that right. By the end of this training, you are going to have all of the softwares that you are going to need in order to be able to actually earn an income online, and how RWA is actually going to be taking care of the monthly fees for that software every month on your behalf, okay? But in order for any of that to actually make sense, you need to actually first hear about the story of how we found a software called the Client Kit and why it's actually so important. Now, before we actually get into that story, I do want to go ahead and warn you very quickly because we are going to be making a big deal about this, okay? And so I want to go ahead and give you that heads up right now, because in just a moment, we're going to really build up the value of what you are going to be getting access to every single month. And so what I want you to know is that yes, on purpose, we are going to be making a big deal out of it. Why? Because we believe what the value of what it is that you are getting is a big deal. And so if we just told you, hey, you know what, here's a software, it's really great, you're basically going to be getting it for free, my question to you is, what are the chances that you are actually going to value it? The answer to that question is very little or none. And so if you don't believe me, if you actually recall what we talked about in terms of how the actual human brain works, the purpose of the human brain, and the human brain was designed for one purpose and one purpose only. It's to conserve energy and to keep you alive, right? And so without actually being sold or influenced or persuaded on anything, there is no reason for the human mind to actually be convinced to put attention towards anything. There's a reason why we call it paying attention, right? The reason we call it paying attention is because it takes energy. And so unless someone is sold on an idea first, with or without money, right? Remember, selling can happen with or without money, right? You convincing your children not to pee all over the living room, guess what? That is a form of selling, right? It's not that your kids have to pay you or you have to pay your kids. Well, in some cases, you might want to pay your kids not to pee all over the living room, but they might be too young for that. I'm joking, okay? However, the point is that unless someone is sold on an idea first, they have no reason to take it seriously, okay? Because the human brain has to prioritize and put importance, has to put attention, has to put energy in order to actually decide what is important. Why? Because if everything is important, if the human brain doesn't actually prioritize, and if everything is actually important, then the truth is nothing is important, right? Think about that. And so could we have made this training that you are about to go through a super quick 10-minute training? Hey, here's the software, go get it, done deal, right? Yeah, probably. We could have done that. However, if we did that, would your brain actually take what it is that we are talking about seriously? Probably not. Guess what? We've already tried it both ways, and we know definitively with proof that this way actually works better. And so yes, this training is going to be over the top, on purpose, intentionally, and that is for your own benefit. Make sense? I hope so. Now, on that note, as we kind of get into the story here, is I want to basically go ahead and talk to those students who are extremely overly skeptical, right? I understand that some students who are super, super skeptical of anyone who makes a big deal out of anything, there are going to be those students who say, hey, Coach Yasin, your tone on this entire training was too salesy. It made me uncomfortable. Why sell us on this if you guys truly have nothing to gain from this? And that's where those students are flat out wrong, because we do have something to gain from this. What is it that we have to gain from this? Results. You are our customer, our student, our client. When you take things seriously, what happens is that you are going to take action. And when you take action, what's going to happen is that you are going to get results. And when you get results, you're going to talk to all of your friends and family about how much we've helped you transform your life. That is what we have to gain from it. And so yes, it is important to make sure that we sell you and make a big deal out of something, because you as the RWA student and us as RWA have aligned interests. What is that interest? That interest is to help you succeed, right? And so the software that we're going to be walking you through has the potential to change the trajectory of your online income and earning ability and online business potential, okay? But it won't mean anything unless you actually first take it seriously. And this is especially true for those of you who have never earned an income online, right? For those of you who have never done that before, you don't have an understanding of the struggles that most other online income earners have to go through, okay? And so we're gonna be walking you through our struggles when we first started, so that way you can actually appreciate the value. And for those of you who already have previous business experience, especially online business experience, you're gonna be nodding your head because you're already going to be agreeing with a lot of the struggles that we're going to share with you and the solutions that we have found thus far. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into explaining the context, so that way the content around what it is that we're going to be talking about inside of this training actually makes sense. So when we started, what we needed when we first started our online business was quite a few things, okay? Because after being in the online income business game for the last 10 plus years, honestly, we have tried and experimented with a whole bunch of things in order to get our online income launched. Here are some of the basic things that when we first started our online business, we actually needed as a critical thing to get up and running. We needed our website builder and hosting. We needed a way to be able to get our sales funnels up and running, a way to send invoices to clients, a way to process payments for clients, a way to text clients, call clients, book appointments with prospects and clients, a way to send out reminder emails and texts to prospects and clients. And all of this was just considered just the entry level in order for us to be able to get started. And the crazy part about this, each and every single one of these were individual softwares that costed anywhere between $49 and $97 a month. And so when we first started our online business, oh so long ago, every month, this is what it was costing us initially, hundreds of dollars per month. And then slowly, as we started to go ahead and grow, that list of softwares continued to grow as well. And slowly it started to become thousands of dollars per month. We're talking about upwards of $2,500 plus per month just for softwares. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the top reasons why most people struggle when getting started in this online income game. Why? Because quite frankly, it is way too complicated, way too overwhelming, and way too expensive in order to get started. Because you're going to think about this, is that when you have all of these different pieces of softwares, they got to communicate with each other. You got to set them up in a certain way. There's an entire online software system that you got to put together. It's complicated. And then the costs start to add up as well, right? And so all of the above softwares that we're talking about were really just considered entry level. And then here's the crazy thing. As we started to grow our company, we started getting past $100,000. We started getting past $1 million. We needed even more softwares, things like CRM, sales pipelines, social media planners, surveys and forms, course membership sites and online classrooms. We needed workflow and automations, ad tracking, analytical reports, right? The list goes on. And so by the time that we had everything that we needed to be able to create a $100,000 a month income, we were paying excess of $6,000 per month in software expenses and had 10 plus different softwares that we were Frankensteining together. Yes, you heard that, $6,000 per month. Okay, this is not a joke. I'm literally giving you an idea of all of the struggles that we had to go through, so that way you can see what the hard way was and what the easy way is going to be. Okay, and then guess what? Even though we were paying insane amounts every single month for all of these softwares, we still had so many problems with all of them. Problem number one was cost, right? All of these individual softwares were adding up to over $6,000 a month in softwares. Okay, problem number two, connecting all of these softwares, right? Even though we're paying all of this money, we got to be able to figure out a way to be able to connect all of these softwares together, right? So if you have a website, well, guess what? You got to embed the calendar for what prospects and customers are going to use onto that website. And then when somebody actually books an appointment with that calendar that you had embedded on that website, well, guess what? You now got to send the information of that appointment over to a different software that is now going to send out the emails and the reminders, right? And then the list goes on and on and on, right? It was an absolute mess. Problem number three, usernames and passwords, right? We got to remember 10 plus different usernames and passwords for all of these softwares, right? We couldn't use the same password because of possible hacking. Problem number four, software updates. Every single time one of these 10 softwares had some sort of update, which was often, right, it would all of a sudden break all of the connections that we had built in terms of hooking them all up together. Problem number five, we got to hire a tech person on retainer, right? How to be able to actually connect all these together? It takes some API, coding, computer science stuff. I don't know anything about that. My co-founders don't know anything about that. So we got to hire this tech person to go ahead and manage all of these softwares for us. Problem number six, stress and overwhelm. When all of the technology broke, it would create so much stress and overwhelm for us because we were just trying to run our business. We were just trying to help our leads. We were trying to help our customers, help our students, right? But all of a sudden, nobody could book appointments. We didn't know exactly what was going on. And then problem number seven, we were held hostage. Every single time we wanted to make a tiny change on our website, or we wanted to update this, or we wanted to do this, we were held hostage in prison, handcuffed by this tech person, right? And we had no idea if he was doing it properly. We didn't know what's going on. We got to wait days for him to be able to actually do it. And he's going to charge us for that, right? And so we had so many problems, even though we were actually paying a tremendous amount, right? And so instead of us being out there busy helping people have transformation in their life, it was as if we were a software company because all of our time was just spent trying to figure out the technology and the software so we could just do what it is that we wanted to do. Dang it, right? It's terrible. And so even with that, that is still us spending $6,000 a month and still not having a solution that actually worked the way that we wanted it to work. And the worst part about this was that as our revenue increased, so did the cost of all the softwares that we needed, right? And so in the early days, we started off with $2,500 per month for software, right? And then at $100K per month in revenue, our software and our tech guys started costing us $6,000 a month. And then as we grew past $100,000, our software expenses started to just continue to rise from there. Now, here's the thing, right? As we go ahead and talk about this, you might be wondering in your mind, there's no way what Coach Yasin is talking about could be real. Like, how could it be? How is it that online income earners would have to justify all of these expenses, right? After hearing about all of the things that we've done over the last 10 years, you're like, man, $2,500 in software just at the beginning stages, and then $6,000 per month as you scale, right? So you might be asking, Coach Yasin, is it really worth it, right? That much money every single month? Like, what's the point? Right? What exactly is the point? And so this is where I want to go ahead and provide you a perspective shift, right? Because think about it. Have you ever wondered what is the actual cost of doing business? Okay, think about it, right? That's actually a business term, the cost of doing business, right? So imagine how all normal businesses start, not online businesses, okay? What they have to start off by doing is they have to open up a store. And so we have students inside of our program who actually run physical stores, right? Whether that be a clothing store, a grocery store, a furniture store, whatever it might be, okay? And so that's how typical businesses have always started. And so when they're starting out and they have to have a store, you either have to purchase the building or you have to rent the building. And so if you're renting the building, it's going to be minimum $2,000 a month, but like $2,000 a month is a very small like office space, right? If you're actually going to have customers come in, you're talking about like $5,000, $10,000 per month just for rent. And then on top of that, you're also then having to pay a couple $100 a month for the utilities, the AC, the lights, and all that kind of stuff. And then if you decide that, hey, you know what, instead of renting, I'm going to go ahead and purchase the building. Well, guess what? You got to put $100,000 as a down payment and get a massive loan, right? And then even with that, that's just the building and the utilities. What about with the shelves that you got to fill up, the inventory to fill up the entire store, right? It might be several more hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to actually get up and running. And so altogether, to start a business for most of history, you needed to have hundreds of thousands of dollars or sometimes even millions of dollars, depending on the size of the store that you're actually opening and the type of inventory and that kind of stuff, right? And so sometimes people forget that that is how businesses have always started before online businesses came along. And so it's just how things used to be. And for many people, quite frankly, those who might not know how to be able to create an income online, it's still that way for many of them. And so for us, the reason why we justified $6,000 per month in software expenses was because guess what? That was just the cost of doing business, right? Instead of us having to buy inventory or get a lease or pay rent or buy a building or something like that, because we were an online company, most of our expenses were software. And guess what? Like honestly, if you zoom out with $6,000 per month in software expenses, we're able to do about $100,000 per month in revenue. So 6% of our revenue was going towards software expenses, which was totally worth it for us back then. It was just annoying that we also had all of these problems because we're paying $6,000 a month. It's like, okay, we got to Frankenstein all these together. We got to connect them, the tech guy, all this kind of stuff, right? However, that's why I'm kind of opening your eyes on how online income earners actually justify this. And so that's why we were completely happy, because at that time, we're like, yo, it's just a part of doing business. We don't see any other way. And so that's why we're just going to have to continue. And yes, it's kind of annoying, but guess what? It's just the thing that we're going to have to do. And that is why so few people have succeeded in the online income world for so long, is because, hey, all of these softwares and connecting all these softwares together, it's complicated, it's messy, and it's expensive. And here's the problem with that, okay? From what we know now, after having done this for 10 plus years, we now realize that doing that entire process, yes, it's justified, yes, it's a cost of doing business, but just because something is a cost of doing business, if there's an easier way to do it, you should probably do the easier way, right? And so we realized that that was the hard way of doing things, okay? And that is why at RWA, we're going to go ahead and save you all of the headache and the agony, and we're going to go ahead and definitely save you thousands of dollars a month in software expenses, because you as an RWA student, you're not going to go ahead and have to learn the hard way. You're going to go ahead and get the easy way from all of that experience and all of the things that we've actually gone through in the past. And so let's go ahead and talk about what that easy way actually looks like. So let's go ahead and talk about finding the easy way, okay? Let me go ahead and walk you through how we found the easy way for ourselves. So in 2019, we were at a mastermind event. And for those of you who don't know what a mastermind event is a group where people pay a price to join a group, okay? So that way they can all learn from each other. Now, this particular mastermind, we had paid $30,000 to be a part of this group for 1 year, okay? So at this mastermind event, one of the speakers who was doing $10 million plus a year got on stage and started talking to us about what he called the software that would replace all softwares. Now, you also have to keep in mind that in this mastermind group, typically the higher the price of the mastermind group, right? If it's a mastermind group that you got to pay, let's say like $1,000 a year or $5,000 a year or $10,000 a year, right? As the more you pay for that, the caliber and the entry level to join that group is going to be higher and higher. So you're going to get higher and higher levels of entrepreneurs, higher and higher levels of individuals in this group, right? And so for $30,000 a year, it's a pretty, up there mastermind. And so everybody who's inside of this mastermind is doing minimum 7 figures. Some of them are doing even 8 figures. And so when this person got on stage to talk, this was not just some random Joe Schmo off the street. This is somebody who is a veteran business owner, somebody who's making substantial income online, and he's getting on stage to talk to us about the software that would replace all softwares, right? And so at that time, we were paying over $6,000 a month in software expenses. And like we said, although we were doing $1 million plus per month, the headache of having to manage all of that, we were super interested in what this person had to say, okay? So he got on stage and he starts talking about a software called the Client Kit, okay? And we actually had the recording for this specific event, so we actually pulled it up and transcribed it to be able to go ahead and show you how much he was talking about the software that got us interested, okay? So what he said, and this is in his own words, okay, he said, we have tested with platforms, we have tested everything for the past, I'm gonna try to do a different voice, right? For the past 6 years, I have tried to use every software tool possible that made it simpler for me to be able to share my message with the world and run my online business. This is him talking, okay? It started with WordPress and then plugins and then OptimizePress and then Kajabi and then ClickFunnels, okay? And these were all awesome tools, okay, everybody? And then the founder of the software called the Client Kit came to me and he said, yo, try this out. And I told him, look, man, I'm tired of all these dang software tools. I don't care about another software. I'm just going to go ahead and manage all of my stuff on ClickFunnels for my landing pages and Kajabi for my classroom. That's it, right? But he convinced me to try it out. That's what he's saying, okay? And then we tried the Client Kit. And it was as if every software up until that point, right, was an incremental improvement, small improvements here and there, right? But then when we experienced with the client kit, it was not an incremental improvement. It was a quantum leap. It was like when Ford came out with the first car when everybody was driving horses. It was like when Apple came out with the iPhone and everybody was still using dumb phones, okay? And so the client kit allowed people like us who are not tech savvy, who are not born in the matrix, who don't have a chip implanted in their heads, who are not engineers, who are not computer science majors, to still get our message out into the world in our online businesses. And so the client kit has given us the opportunity to cut and decrease the time and stress and anxiety and suffering behind a keyboard. It is so far the only tool that we now use across all of our 8-figure businesses, and we are not going anywhere else. Okay, so this is how he actually described the client kit. Now, this was our reaction, okay? This guy gets on stage and he's describing the client kit to us and he's super over the top and we're like, oh, please. And so we were super skeptical at first, right? And especially when somebody sells as hard as he was selling it, we're like, yo, what's the catch? Like, what do you have to benefit from this, right? And so from there, we realized that like we'd paid 30 grand to be a part of this group and to learn and be better. And so we knew that people who pay attention. And so instead of us burning bridges and wearing the failure uniform, and instead of us being so skeptical that it stopped us from improving, we decided to actually pay attention and actually decide to try this software, the client kit, out. And so this is what happened next. Over the next 12 months, we cut out our software expenses by 80% and we saved over $60,000 every single year after that. And then not only that, but that was back in 2019. And so since that event, we've saved over 180 grand based on the advice that speaker gave us on stage to try out the client kit. Now, that's just one thing that we learned from that $30,000 mastermind, right? So 30 grand in, 180 grand out, pretty good investment, right? Now, at this point, you might be like, okay, what's up with this whole like client kit thing? So let's go ahead and actually talk about the client kit, right? So what is the client kit in a super direct way? The client kit is an all-in-one software that's built specifically for online income earners and online business owners, okay? Now, the client kit is built on top of a platform called GHL. And the problem with the GHL platform is that it was built specifically for agency owners and local industries, okay? So it wasn't best suited for online income earners and online business owners. So what the client kit team did is that they took that same platform and built on top of it to make it more specific for online income earners and online business owners out of the box. And so I'm not exaggerating when I say this, that the client kit software literally saved our business from what we call death by technology, okay? What it is, it consolidated everything that we needed in one place, and we have never ever looked back after that, okay? So if you remember the calendar that you booked your initial strategy session on as an RWA student, the text message and email reminders that came from us, the kickoff call reminders when you actually joined RWA, right? Our website, our blog, every part of our entire business, all of that has been done through the client kit. And so any email or text that you've even ever received from RWA coaches, yep, all of that was from the client kit. And so from our experience of having used the client kit in the last few years, we really do believe that it is the go-to all-in-one software for anyone who is running an online business. And as you're going to see in just a moment, it literally has everything that you would ever need for the rest of your life in business, all in one place. And so it really is as awesome as that gentleman was talking about it on stage, but this is kind of like the more behind the scenes, straightforward explanation of what the client kit is. And so we paid 30 grand in order to be able to find out about this software, to be able to save RWA students all of the headache. So yeah, you're welcome. Okay. And so maybe at this point you might be thinking, you know what, the client kit, maybe we're blowing smoke, maybe we're making a big deal out of nothing. Well, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and prove it to you. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the client kit right now. And we're going to go ahead and quickly go through it together. So that way you can see firsthand how the client kit has literally simplified the entire process and really unhandcuffed online business owners, and how they have made the entire process super, super easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut over to a quick mini training that's going to walk you through real quick a 30,000 foot overview of the client kit. So let's go ahead and cut over to that now. All right, welcome to this quick mini training. It's going to give you a quick 30,000 foot walkthrough on the actual client kit. So we've gone ahead and created a demo account on here so that way I can walk you through what it looks like on a fresh account. So what happens is that when you first sign up for the client kit, there's going to be all these, kind of different notices and stuff. You can go ahead and ignore that. But what I want to show you is this is what the left side column looks like. So there's dashboard, conversations, calendars, contacts, opportunities, payments, marketing, automation, sites, reputation, all of this stuff on here, right? And what's going to happen here is you go over to conversations. This is basically where you can go ahead and take tabs of every single conversation that you're having with a prospect, with a customer, with a student. It doesn't matter what it is, email or text message, all of it is going to show up on here. And then you have access to the calendar. So these calendars actually integrate with Google Calendar. And then there's an actual link that can be sent out that is going to allow you to be able to say, hey, book on my calendar. Hey, here's my kickoff call calendar. Here's my sales calendar, whatever it might be. Okay. And there's a whole bunch of settings with that and all of that kind of stuff on here. And then there's contacts. So you can go ahead and it's a full-fledged CRM. You can add tags. You can keep track of the contacts. I think in ours we have like 100,000, 200,000 contacts. So it's a very robust, advanced CRM. There's also opportunities. So very much like if you are having a sales pipeline, kind of like there's like Trello and there's like these other softwares out there that allow you to be able to keep track of cards. And so what this would allow you to do is that if you had, let's say for example, a record or a contact, and you can keep track of your sales pipelines, you're able to keep track of your opportunities as well. So you can come in here and say, okay, this is this contact, this is how much it's going to be, da 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 da. You can say if you won the contract, if you didn't win the contract. All of this is helpful once you're actually doing active sales and leads and that kind of stuff. Inside of here is also the full-fledged payment processor. So being able to create the invoices, being able to create all of the subscriptions that might have to happen, being able to charge all of your students and clients as well. One thing that a lot of people don't know is that Stripe, although it's a payment processor, it is not a payment terminal. And so this is something you're going to learn later on, is that yes, you have Stripe that's going to allow you to be able to process payments, but you need the client kit, which sits on top of Stripe, to be able to actually be the terminal to be able to charge all of those payments, right? So inside of here, once you actually create your account, we're going to walk you through how to create your Stripe account later on inside of this module, so you can link the two together. And so that way you can go ahead and charge your invoices and send invoices and all of that kind of stuff from the client kit. Then once we get into actual marketing, this is where things actually start to get really cool. We got the entire social media planner, so you're able to connect this to Facebook, Instagram, Google My Business, LinkedIn, Twitter, and it actually posts on your behalf according to a schedule. So you can build everything out on here, and then email marketing, the templates, links, all that kind of stuff. And then we get into automations. This is the really cool thing about it, is that literally any single part of this entire software can be automated. So you can use workflows, campaigns, and triggers. When somebody actually books an appointment, put them into this campaign. When somebody does this, do this, and all of this fancy schmancy stuff is really, really, really awesome to get automated. I think we have like hundreds of these automations built out that if I was to hire somebody to do all of the work that these automations do for us, I'd need like 2 or 3 full-time people on like $50,000 salaries each. And so these automations are an absolute lifesaver. From there, we actually go over to sites. So you'll see on here funnels, websites, blogs, WordPress, membership sites, forms, surveys, chat widgets. All of that is inside of here. So I go over to websites. It's literally as simple as new website, and then you can go ahead and start off with a blank slate. But then later on inside of this module, we're going to show you how to be able to actually import your actual website templates as well. Okay. Funnels, same thing on here. These are sales funnels. We're going to walk you through exactly what a sales funnel is, exactly how it works, how all of that kind of stuff works as well. Blogs, memberships, everything is in here. Reputation management as well, that is available on here. Reporting in terms of Google ads reporting, Facebook ads reporting, attribution reporting, call reporting, agent reporting, as you start to be able to scale your team from there. Appointment reporting, right? These are all just kind of, it says view sample data on here, but you can see it gives you all of your marketing reporting in one place that other softwares charge $300, $400, $500 a month just for the reporting piece alone. And then over here, you have your help library, which you're going to learn about later on in terms of priority support as well. Okay, so priority support is something that is unique, that is going to have to be an add-on that you're going to get walked through later on as well. And then you have settings over here. Once you click into settings, you're going to see you have business info, company billing. Company billing is where you can actually come in. I'm not going to click on that because it might have some credit card information on there. Even though this is a test account, I think we linked our own credit card information to make the account. And so company billing is on there if you need to keep your company billing up to date. Staff, as you start to grow your team, you can add unlimited staff members, pipelines, calendars. So this is going to be where you're going to be able to come in and actually create calendars for different things. Like if you're doing like, let's say a nutrition orientation, a kickoff call, strategy session, quick chats, whatever it is that you need to create, you're able to go ahead and generate links for different calendars that then integrate with your Google Calendar. We're going to walk you through all of this. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. It's 30,000 foot overview for now, right? So you come in here, you're able to go ahead and have your availability, have all of that on there. And then once you actually open up that other page, it actually has your entire calendar and your availability with the click of a link. It's very, very easy to go ahead and manage. And then from there, we actually go ahead, there's phone numbers when you actually need to be able to do your compliance, right? And we're going to talk about this later on, where it's very important to be compliant. It's called A2P compliance. You have to register with the FCC. That's very important. We're going to walk you through all of that as well. So you can do text message and email marketing, reputation management, profile, domains. You can actually come in here and hook up the domain that you actually acquired to the client kit. So then you can go ahead and put it for your website. And that's all in the help articles as well. And we're going to walk you through that step by step. URL redirect. So let's say, for example, you want somebody to, nutrifitwellness.com/success. You want that to be able to go to a different page. You can do that. Integrations, email services, tags, there's labs, there's audit logs, all of that inside of the client kit. And so this is really what I wanted to walk you through in terms of a 30,000 foot overview. So you can actually see what the client kit actually is. And that way you're not just trying to be like, oh, these guys are just kind of blowing smoke. It's a real thing. And we're going to go ahead and walk you through the rest of the training inside of the main training on how you're actually going to be able to get access to this and what that entire offer is going to look like for you. Okay. So with that being said, this has been the 30,000 foot overview of the client kit. And let's go ahead and jump back over to the main training. All right, welcome back from that quick mini training as a 30,000 foot overview of the client kit. So you can see we were not joking when we said it literally has everything all in one place. Now, after seeing that though, the question that you might be asking is, okay, well, how much do you guys, RWA, pay for the client kit? So in terms of, we were paying before $6,000 per month in software expenses. Well, how much is it now, right? And that's a great question. So what you can actually do is you can actually go to the client kit's website and actually see the pricing options that they have, www.theclientkit.com. So they have two main plans. The first plan starts off at $497 a month, and then their advanced plan starts off at $997 a month. Okay, so what we did is we actually started off on their $497 a month plan, and then we quickly upgraded to their $997 month plan because of the fact that it was so valuable for us. Now, you might be thinking, wait a second. That's still a lot of money every single month. And yeah, you would be right. But you also have to consider the value that we are receiving from them, right? Do you remember what it was like for us before? We were handcuffed to the freaking tech guy. All of our tech was all over the place across 10 different softwares. We had to connect all of them together, pay a minimum of $2,500 a month in software, which eventually got to $6,000 a month in softwares as we scaled. And now what? It's a completely different story with the client kit TCK, right? Everything's all in one place. We don't got to worry about connecting the different softwares, one username and password. No more having to worry about the software updates, no more stress and overwhelm, and best of all, no more handcuffed to the dang tech guy and being held hostage by him, right? So instead of us paying $6,000 per month and having a gazillion softwares, it's $997 per month for one software. And so it's a fraction of what we were paying before, and it's literally saving 6 times that amount of money every single month. And the best of all, the best part about that is that we can finally actually focus on what we love doing, which is just helping our students succeed and get results and have amazing transformations. And so instead of us having to worry about all the technology and the stress and the overwhelm, and so you tell us, paying anywhere between $2,500 and $6,000 a month versus paying $997 per month and all the other benefits that we get of having it all be in one place. Yes, please sign me up every single day and twice on Sunday, right? We literally run our entire company off of the client kit, and we're able to do millions of dollars every single year and help people transform their lives all from that one software. And so yes, we are more than happy to pay $997 a month, about $12,000 a year for it, because it's just so much better. It's absolutely worth it for us. Now, here's the thing with that. Even though it might be worth it for us, there's a problem. How in the world is it actually even going to be worth it for RWA students, right? How is it actually going to help RWA students when it's not so cheap, right? Even with their basic plan, which is $497 a month, that doesn't include all of the features that we recommend, it's still very expensive. And then at $997, forget it, right? It's just too cost prohibitive for a beginner when getting started, right? And you guys know our philosophy on minimum viable, right? We are not fans when starting a new career or business taking on a bunch of expenses unless it's absolutely critical. And so every single recommendation that we have made in this entire program thus far has been with all of that in mind to make sure that your monthly expenses are as freaking low as possible, because that is the way that a startup should be running, extremely lean, right? And so now you're starting to see why actually starting a business for most of time has always been about, I got to get funding, I got to get a loan kind of thing, right? Historically, it's always been difficult because you got to get capital in order to get started, because there are those upfront starting expenses. And so now that you're starting to see the problem, you're starting to see from our perspective how it has been difficult for us, right? We've been actually tackling and trying to figure out this problem of how are we going to help RWA students actually afford this? This is the issue that we have been struggling to find a solution for over 2 years now, because of the fact that in the beginning, we would just go ahead and say, hey, you know what, go ahead and purchase, this software, this software, this software. And so the students end up having 5 different softwares, and they got to figure out how to connect all of them together. And it's like, we got to have a full-time tech guy who's on our staff at RWA as one of the coaches just to be able to help the students. But then the students are still struggling with the technology. I mean, we're having some students who are struggling with just the Zoom recordings, right? If that's challenging for students right now, imagine having to connect 5-6 different softwares together, right? Never mind the cost prohibitiveness of it, right? And then once we actually found out about the Client Kit, we started recommending the Client Kit to the students. And in our earlier education programs, we would say, hey, you got to do what you got to do. So either you got to put up with all of the complexity of having like 3, 4, 5 different softwares and getting started out, right? Or you can go ahead and just purchase the Client Kit outright, but it was $497 or $997 every single month. And so for most beginner students, that just was not sustainable every single month, right? However, we knew for a fact that is exactly what every single student needed, right? This was the reason why so many students couldn't get started with their remote wellness practice and their online income, was simply because of the fact that it was too difficult. But imagine with a snap of your fingers, tomorrow, you can have all of your website, your calendar, your texting, your email, your reminders, all built out overnight in one place, super simple, plug and play, copy and paste. It's an absolute game changer, right? And so we knew that the Client Kit was the one-stop shop to be able to solve all of the income earners' needs that they would ever have. But the problem was that if it costs you $997 per month, 12 grand a year just to get started, it's just not going to work. And so this is why we have been hard at work over the last year, really struggling to find a solution to this. Because remember, our goal with the Remote Wellness Academy certification program was to really make this entire process of creating an income online for yourself as simple as possible for Remote Wellness Academy students, okay? And so literally what you're going to start to see here in just a second is that we have had to rebuild this entire program from the ground up in order to actually solve for this problem. Because it doesn't matter if we teach you all of the tactics around how to make an income online, if it's too complicated with the gazillion different softwares, students just are not going to be able to keep up with it. Period, right? And so this is the real fundamental problem that we have been working on solving for a very long time. And that's why we have such an extensive training here to be able to explain to you the background of this, so that way you understand and are prepared for what the solution for that actually looks like. Okay. And so that's why I want to go ahead and talk to you right now about what we call the final light bulb moment. Okay. So when we were redesigning the RWA program for the latest rebuild, which is the one that you are in right now, we had an idea. We said, you know what? We know that this is the fundamental problem. This is the number one thing that prevents our students from being able to be successful, because of the fact that it's too complicated to be able to start an income online, because there's too many technology, too much software, all that kind of stuff, and it's not actually feasible, right? So we thought, hey, you know what? What if we go to the Client Kit company directly and talk to the founders directly, right? Unlike Google and Zoom and some of these other billion-dollar companies, the Client Kit is much more approachable. And so we thought, what if RWA could work out some sort of partnership together with the Client Kit? And so with this idea in mind, what we did is we reached out to the Client Kit team and we really pitched this idea. We went to them and said, hey, we want to be able to change the lives of our students by giving them access to this amazing software. What can we do? We know that this is the foundational software that they need, so that way everything is one place, so that way they can actually get launched. But how do we actually get this rocking and rolling, right? And so that's where the talks actually started, right? And they were open to the partnership. That wasn't the difficult part. Trying to be able to partner with them was not at all challenging, right? What company would not be happy to have a partner who is sending them customers every single month, right? If we go ahead and send you over, hey, go sign up for the client kit. Hey, go sign up for the client kit. Hey, go sign up for the client kit. They were more than happy to partner with us, right? It's literally like they're getting free customers. That was not the issue. The issue was more so with the back end logistics of what we told them we wanted to do with our students. We told them we didn't just want a partnership. We wanted custom solutions for our RWA students. We went to them and we insisted and we said, hey, we want some way to be able to copy and paste all of the things that we have built inside of our business over the last half decade with millions of dollars in sales and thousands of students. We want to be able to copy and paste all of those templates and swipe files into our RWA students' client kit accounts. We want it literally to be like, hey, take it from our account, put it into their account. They told us on that, nope, sorry, it can't be done. We kept on insisting. We told them, hey, not only do we want to be able to copy and paste everything that we have already created, but we are constantly creating custom websites, templates, automations, and emails for ourselves in our business. We want to be able to, on an ongoing basis, be able to create these assets and then be able to download them into our students' accounts as simple as one click. Same answer. They told us, hey, it's not an easy thing to do, right? We told them, hey, not only that, we want a way to be able to subsidize the monthly payment and foot the bill and pay for our RWA students' client kit accounts. So that way it's not as expensive for them every single month. They told us, hey, that's crazy. It's noble of you guys, but we just don't know how that's actually going to work. And so after hearing a lot of, RWA, that's not really going to work, we decided to go ahead and take a different approach with them. We told them, hey, what if we just went ahead and worked with you guys and your team? We invested our own time and energy. We invested our own resources into figuring out how we can make this work instead of just dumping all of these demands on you guys, right? So just work with us, client kit, right? Just work with us and we want to be able to help figure out how we can make this a reality together. And so when we went ahead and introduced that idea, that's when they started getting more open to the idea of working with us with this. And so that's when we started going back and forth, right? And so all of a sudden we started to realize that, we wanted to be able to create websites and funnels and text messages and marketing emails and text automations and calendar integrations and campaigns and social media content and all of these other things that Client Kit is able to create, right? We wanted to be able to create all of those things in our Client Kit account. And then with the click of a button, we want to be able to share, copy, and paste into every single RWA student's Client Kit account, right? But here's the thing. I'm not a programmer. I don't know. I'm just saying, hey, this is what I want, right? And so we had no idea. Apparently, it's really hard to be able to create a software that can actually copy and paste all of these different types of data across multiple accounts. It requires a custom solution, right? You can do it with maybe a website, but then how do you do it with automations? How do you do it with integrations? How do you do it with campaigns, right? That was something that required a custom solution. And so it took involving dozens of developers, hundreds of hours of planning, and thousands of dollars in software development in order to be able to figure out the logistics. And the entire process took more than 12 months to be able to come up with a solution for. And so I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally introduce and reveal what it is that we're going to be talking about inside of this training. We are super pumped that we finally have an official partnership with the Client Kit. We have come up with a partnership that is going to allow us to radically change the trajectory of RWA students' income and business forever. And so I really want to go ahead and take a moment to really hype this up because I cannot tell you how excited I am about this. I don't think that there is any school, academy, university, program on the planet that has ever done this for their students. I honestly do think that we are the first. If you guys know of any, please make sure that you let us know because I am happy to go ahead and learn from others as well. But I really want to go ahead and emphasize how big of a deal this is, how big of a win this is, how big of a game changer this is, right? I cannot tell you how much work that we have put into making this happen for you guys and how much this has meant to us, okay? Because this is absolutely going to be a quantum shift for RWA students' career and businesses. It's going to allow you to never have to go through the hard way that all other online income earners have to go through. And the coolest part about this is that it's exclusive for RWA students. The Client Kit has never done anything like this. And if we hadn't really offered to make the investment to figure out the logistics, my guess tells me that this would not have been possible. And so that's why we are so absolutely pumped and excited for what it is that we're actually going to be unveiling for you, okay? Now, at this point, you might be thinking, Okay. Enough of this hyping up already, right? Is this really that big of a deal? What the heck does this even mean for me as a Remote Wellness Academy student? Well, let's go ahead and talk about that. What does this mean and what do I get? So if you remember, one of the big things that we wanted to have in place with the agreement with the ClientKit was that other than just having the copy and paste software solution, we wanted a way to be able to subsidize the monthly payments so that way it wasn't as expensive for RWA students, right? Now, initially, they were not sure how this was actually going to work, right? So when the ClientKit actually went ahead and talked to us about the partnership, they said, hey, you know what? The way that we normally partner is in the software world, they have something called affiliate commissions, okay? So what they do is they do a revenue split, 30%, 40%, 50% of based off of you use an affiliate link, you go over to that software, you sign up for that software, and then they will send over whoever's affiliate link that was a percentage. And usually in software sales, it's like 30, 40, 50%, right? So the ClientKit told us, hey, this is what the partnership looks like. The ClientKit Premium is $9.97 per month. And so if we do an affiliate, link with special pricing, we could give you guys, RWA, 50% of what every single RWA student's plan is because of the fact that you brought the customer to us, right? And so as a result, every single RWA student that signs up for $997 a month, that's going to be $497, 50% split for every single student that signs up every single month. Right? We're talking about $6,000 a year that we would be making additional as Remote Wellness Academy, right? And then they told us, or the other option is that you can decide to pay for your student a percentage and then also get a revenue split on top of that with the affiliate commission, right? So we had two options: make money from each RWA student based off the affiliate commissions, or we could choose to subsidize a percentage of the monthly subscription. So that way it would be cheaper for RWA students. So yes, we would lose out on the commission. We'd have to pay out of pocket, but it would be cheaper for our students, right? And so the question is this, right? Now, those are the options we had. The question is this: when it came time for us to be able to sign on the dotted line, what route did we choose? And so here's the thing. We decided to go with the option that would be the most remarkable for RWA students. So this is what you get. For every single active RWA student, every month, Remote Wellness Academy will be taking care of $996.99 out of the $997 subscription cost every month on behalf of each student. Coach Yasin, what are you saying? Yes, you heard me. Instead of the subscription fee of $997 per month, around $12,000 a year, for active RWA students, the cost every single month will only be 1 penny a month. Every month, Remote Wellness Academy will take care of the rest of the monthly bill for you for the ClientKit account on your behalf. And yes, just in case you were wondering, the subscription fee that we are going to be taking care of for you every month isn't the standard $497 a month, $6,000 a year plan, right? That is limited in features. Nope. We are talking about the actual premium plan that has all of the features, the one that is $997 a month, $12,000 a year. That is the one that you are going to be getting access to for 1 penny every month. And the rest of that we're going to go ahead and take care of on your behalf. I know. Okay. Now, as a random side note, if you're wondering why 1 penny a month, okay, what happened was that the discount code that the ClientKit was going to create for us in their system, it required for there to be some sort of transaction happening on a monthly basis in order for the account to remain active. And so we went ahead and asked them, like, yo, what's the lowest amount that you can accept every single month? They said, like, are you sure? We said, yeah. And they said, it's 1 penny per month. And we said, okay, cool. So go ahead and make the discount code for that then. And so instead of it being $997 per month for the ClientKit Premium every month, it's 1 penny per month. Not too bad, right? And then in that case, with the whole one penny kind of thing, we said, you know what? In some ways, we think it's probably good because those who pay attention. And so even though it is just 1 penny a month, you're still kind of feeling like you're bought in every single month, right? Impressive. Very impressive. Now, after hearing all of that, right, now that you understand exactly what it is that you're going to be getting for 1 penny every single month, you're going to be getting the $997 premium account. We're going to take care of the rest of it on your behalf. The question that you might have is, Well, why do this, right? Why give away pretty much $1,000 every single month for a penny, right? And it's not even just like free money, right? It's not like, hey, we're footing the bill and all of a sudden like it's just like, free money just comes out of nowhere. We're literally working on negotiating bulk subsidized discounts from the client kit, but it's still a substantial monthly cost that RWA is subsidizing every single month. I mean, we're literally talking about pretty much $12,000 a year being given away, okay? We didn't have to do that. No one asked us to do that, right? If we had just negotiated a cheaper rate and told RWA students, hey, this is a requirement as a software for you to be able to get your online income launched. Yeah, some students might have been able to find it difficult, but the thing is that most students would have signed up for the software because they were told that it was required. And we would be able to make an affiliate commission off of that as well, right? Every single month from every single student, we would be able to go ahead and really line our pockets from that affiliate commission that was coming in from every single RWA student. So why are we going down the route of footing the bill, literally taking care of the bill for you every single month to be able to get it down to 1 penny per month? And this is where I want to go ahead and talk to you about the difference between grab money and run or build remarkable, okay? Because we have been in the create education transformation programs online space for a long time across multiple different industries, right? Health we were in, and then we went over to wealth, and then we went into wellness in general, right? In an industry that is full of gurus in front of Lamborghinis promising millions overnight, what we did is we always prided ourselves on doing a good job of delivering results and transformation to our students, right? So compared to the guys who were in front of their Lambos taking pictures who were influencers, who want to just make a quick buck, we always felt that we just did such a better job than them. But quite frankly, here's the truth. It wasn't that difficult to do better than an influencer who's just putting a bunch of random crap together and just trying to make a quick buck. It wasn't that difficult to actually beat them, right? We were just doing just enough to be better than them. But here's the thing, what we decided. We decided that in our latest version of our program, in the complete rebuild of the program, the one that you're in right now, we wanted to not just create a program that was good or that was just enough to be better than everybody else. We wanted to create a program that was great, a program that delivered remarkable value. What does it mean, remarkable, right? What does this remarkable word even mean? It means that something is so great that it is hard not to remark about it, that it is remarkable. It's so great that you cannot help but remark, say something out loud about how great it is. A program that is so valuable, that is so great, that it's actually difficult for each RWA student not to say something to their friends and family about it. A program that delivered so much value that it became remarkable, that RWA students would go out of their way, unprompted, to speak to others about how valuable the program is. We made up our minds that we didn't care about what the rest of the market was doing. Okay, we wanted to make sure that, hey, we're not just trying to be better than those guys in front of the Lamborghinis, right? That wasn't the goal anymore. We wanted to create a new standard of value for the industry. We wanted to be able to create a standard of remarkable value. That is what we were aiming for in this current version of the program. Now, at this point, some students who are extremely skeptical might be thinking, yeah, that's what you guys are saying. But in the end, those gurus are all the same. They're just trying to make money. Well, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Skeptical student, let me go ahead and explain a little bit more for you. Why is remarkable value the goal of the RWA program? So here's the thing that you might not know. We actually have a mission here at Remote Wellness Academy. Let me go ahead and share that with you right now. This is something that we read in every single team meeting that we have as an organization. It is literally something that is in our veins and is coming out of our pores. It's something that we talk about on a regular basis, okay? Because the thing that we solve, the problem that we solve that exists out there is that learning how to live a life of wellness in health, wealth, relationships, and connection to something greater is outdated, difficult, confusing, impractical, and filled with misinformation, okay? Now the question is, all right, well, how are we going to help solve that problem? How are we going to actually make a dent in that problem? And so this is where our vision comes in as an organization, okay? And this is something that is a little bit more advanced. As you start to build your organization, you're gonna be able to learn how to do these things as well, so that way you have an identity, a becoming journal for your organization. Yeah, think about that for a second. There's identities for individuals and identities for organizations, but that's kind of a side tangent. Let's go ahead and talk about our vision as an organization. So our vision at Remote Wellness Academy is to to provide every human on the planet with the tools and education to thrive in health, wealth, relationships, and connection to something greater, so that way they can live a life of wellness. Now, the question is, how are we actually going to go ahead and make progress on that vision? That's where the mission comes in. And our mission is to create an army of 1 million remote wellness practitioners through the most results-oriented education program on the planet. Okay, so that is what our vision and mission is as an organization. Now, you might be wondering, what does any of this have to do with the client kit? What does any of this have to do with the fact that you are going to be subsidizing this so that way it only costs us a penny per month? Let me explain a little bit more, okay? The problem that we're going after, right? Learning how to be able to live a life of wellness in the 4 areas of life, right? That is a very, very, very big problem. And the vision of our organization to be able to help put a dent in that problem is equally as big and ambitious. To be able to provide every human on the planet with the tools and education so that way they can thrive and have a life of wellness. Here's the thing. How in the world do we plan on doing that, right? And so as an organization, we had two options. Option number one, in order to actually accomplish our vision, was to go ahead and help people directly with their wellness, right? And so what we could do is we could choose to continue to run our remote wellness practice, which is our own business, NutriFit Wellness. And what we could do is through our own remote wellness practice, over the course of our entire career as an organization, we could aim to serve 1 million clients through NutriFit Wellness, right? And so what that would mean is that over the course of our entire career, we would have impacted 1 million people's lives. And so visually, this is what it looks like. We have a remote wellness practice, NFW, NutriFit Wellness, and we're striving to have, over the course of our entire career, right, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, over the course of that entire career, we're going to aim to be able to serve 1 million clients. And so then we would have 1 million lives transformed. Amazing, yes. But here's the thing. There's a big difference between helping 1 million people versus what our vision is. If you remember, our vision is to be able to help and provide every human on the planet, okay? And so how do we plan on bridging the gap between 1 million people, right, and every human on the planet levels of impact and transformation? That is a, completely quantum leap in terms of impact and transformation. And so that's where option two comes in and our mission comes in, okay? And so option number two that we've gone ahead and put together as our mission is, rather than try to provide the tools and education to the entire world by ourselves, why not create those who can take the learning and take the methodology of remote wellness and impact the people in their circles? And that's exactly where our mission comes in, right? We're going to go ahead and create an army of 1 million remote wellness practitioners through the most results-oriented education program on the planet, right? What we could do is we can now equip each remote wellness practitioner with the knowledge and the tools that they would need, and show them how to be able to grow their remote wellness practice. Teach you how to be able to grow your remote wellness practice, so that way you can serve, let's say, hypothetically, 1,000 of your own clients over the course of your entire career, which is very doable. 1,000 clients over a 30-year career, we're talking about 3 clients a month. Extremely, extremely doable, right? And so just like in option one, what we would then do is, let's say, for example, you as RWPs are aiming for 1,000, we would aim to go ahead and empower 1 million students to go through the RWA program and become remote wellness practitioners, right? And so here's where things start to get really, really, really cool. So this is what this option looks like visually, okay? So here's us. We're still aiming to go ahead and over the next, 30, 40 years, the history of the organization, we're aiming to go ahead and help 1 million students, right? But here's the thing. Our students are remote wellness practitioners who have their own practices and are helping people through their practices. And so they are aiming for 1,000 people impacted throughout their careers. Now, here's the cool thing, right? 1 million times 1,000, okay? With this option, what it would mean is that we have now actually reached the level of 1 billion lives transformed, because 1 million of our students, who each have 1,000 clients each, means that we have impacted 1 billion lives. Do you know how much more impact that is? That is a 1,000x difference in human lives impacted. With option number two, what are the chances that we would go ahead and make a bigger dent and impact in helping people have transformation in their lives? And here's the big thing about this. This is just counting the direct lives impacted, right? What about the lives of the indirect people impacted? What about the friends and families of our students' clients? What happens when one of your clients goes through their transformation, they go back to their family, and they help 3 of their family members, either through direct help, through influence, or leading by example, and now all of a sudden, those 1 million lives that have been impacted becomes 4 billion lives impacted. And so there is a compounding effect to this. When we talk about entire families' lives being transformed from one person, and then counting the generational impact that is carried on by breaking the generational ignorance regarding the foundational skills and education required to thrive in health, wealth, relationships, and connection to something greater. What ends up happening is that the influence and the impact of remote wellness simply never stops. And so this, ladies and gentlemen, is how we plan on getting to every human on the planet levels of transformation and impact. That is how our vision and our mission come together. And that is how we 1000x, not 10x, not 100x, 1000x the difference in the lives that we are able to impact with the mission and the vision that we have as an organization. Okay. But here's the problem with all of this. 1 million remote wellness practitioners, that is not a small number. That is an army. And to empower 1 million people to want to become remote wellness practitioners, that is not going to happen by us alone talking about how amazing the RWA program is. Sure, we can go ahead and think that RWA program is amazing. Yeah. But what really matters is if you, as the RWA student, also thinks it's amazing. And that is only going to happen when we create a program that is so great, that is so valuable, that is so remarkable, that RWA students go out of their way, unprompted, to speak about how amazingly valuable the RWA program is. Okay, now we've gone ahead and talked about all of this. The question is, what does all of this have to do with the client kit? Why are we talking about this in this training? When it came time for us to decide on the dotted line what we wanted to do with the client kit and with that foundational problem that we were struggling to be able to solve in all of our education programs, we were deciding, hey, how much do we do this? Do we do affiliate commissions? Do we do subsidizing, right? When it came time to decide what kind of partnership we wanted to have, we thought a lot about it. And then we remembered our vision and we remembered our mission. We remembered our values as an organization. We didn't talk about this earlier, but we have 3 main values as an organization: unquestionable character, sincere transparency, and relentless excellence. These are the 3 values that every single one of our staff member lives and breathes and sleeps and literally comes out of their pores, okay? We remembered our vision and our mission and our values, okay? And we remembered that money is not the goal, because after your needs are met and your family is comfortable, money honestly doesn't mean anything. And I know for some students who are maybe in make money now mode, and even though we, urge against being in make money now mode, the truth is that there are still students that we're going to have that are going to be in make money now mode. And it might be a little bit hard to hear that, hey, money doesn't mean anything. But the truth is that it doesn't mean anything once you get past a certain point. After a certain point, more money doesn't change anything in your life. Yes, a lot of things change in your life when you go from scarcity, make money now mode, and you get to the point where you have your first 100 grand in the bank, and then you have your first 300,000 in the bank, and then you have your first million. But here's the truth. The second million is not going to mean anything to you because it doesn't have any tangible impact in the quality of your life. And so eventually, money is no longer the goal. Money just becomes the fuel that allows you to get to where you want to go. And where we wanted to go was to be able to impact the lives of every human being on the planet with the message of remote wellness. And to be able to create a program that is that great and that valuable that it becomes remarkable, that's not easy. And so why give a $997 a month software every single month, $12,000 every single year away for a penny? This is why. The reason is the value would be so great that RWA students, that our students would have a hard time not telling their friends and family about how much amazing value is in the program. The program becomes, there it is, remarkable value. And so this is really why I wanted to go ahead and really lay out why remarkable value is the goal of the RWA program. So that way you understand exactly what it is that we are going for and why we decided to go ahead and make this decision. It's so absolutely critical for you as a student to be able to understand who we are as an organization and where we are headed. Now, having said that, as we start to get into the more tactical parts of this training, and now that you understand the reason why we went ahead and made this choice, we want to go ahead and now talk about some important points. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about 4 important points. We're gonna talk about a warning, what happens when my RWA program ends, with great power comes great responsibility, and other business expenses. So let's go ahead and jump right into that right now. So the first thing, warning, only for you as an RWA student. Okay, so the sign up link that you're going to be receiving at the end of this training to sign up for the Client Kit Premium for $1 a month is only for active Remote Wellness Academy students, those who are in possession of an active student agreement. The legal name that is on your signed student agreement, that is who the TCK account is for. If you do not have access to your student agreement, you can go ahead and look it up in your email. Every student is sent a copy of their signed student agreement to their email. You can go ahead and search up agreement, student agreement, Panda Docs. Any one of those is going to pull it up. If you do not have a copy of your student agreement, you can make sure that you go ahead and reach out to the support team over at support@remotewellnessacademy.com and we can get you a copy of it. But first, make sure that you are checking your email. Okay, so as a part of our agreement with TCK, the Client Kit, what they have done is they have been extremely strict on the instructions of who is eligible for this offer. Okay, so we are making this extremely clear right now. Every single sign up is tracked and audited. If any person who is not a Remote Wellness Academy student signs up using the special sign up link, not only will that person have their account shut down, but the person who shared the link, because TCK tracks everything, the person who shared the link to them will also have their account shut down, banned, and they will be expelled from the academy. Okay, because there is no way that this special link is going to get out of the academy unless someone actually shares it. And so there is a zero tolerance policy on sharing this offer to anyone outside the RWA active student community, okay? Especially because there is a hard cost associated with RWA taking care of the monthly subscription cost on a monthly basis. Both RWA and TCK are constantly auditing each new account that is being created, okay? So the terms are clear. Each RWA student is allowed 1 TCK account per student, okay? Other people did not join Remote Wellness Academy, okay? They are not a part of the Remote Wellness Academy family, and so they do not get to take advantage of this perk, okay? And so we ask that you please be ethical. Do not be one of those students who then goes ahead and gets banned. We have told TCK and the TCK team that we have some of the best students in the industry. So please do not ruin our relationship and our partnership with them and ruin this opportunity for the rest of the Remote Wellness Academy family, okay? So if you know someone who wants to take advantage of this opportunity for their business, for their online income, right? They can also receive the Client Kit Premium for $1 a month if they join the Remote Wellness Academy, and they can have a discussion with our enrollment team to see if they would be a good fit to become a Remote Wellness Academy student. And all you got to do is just email support@remotewellnessacademy.com and our team over there can go ahead and help with that. Okay, so that is the first very important note out of the 4 that we wanted to go ahead and talk about, which was the warning. So we went ahead and completed that one. The next one we're going to go ahead and talk about is what happens when my RWA program ends. Let's go ahead and talk about that right now, okay? Because a question that might come up is that if TCK Premium for $1 a month is as long as it is only for active Remote Wellness Academy students, well, what happens afterwards, right? Will I have to start paying for the Client Kit? So I want to clarify this. It is true, as long as you are an active RWA student, the Client Kit and all of the additional benefits, there are a bunch of additional benefits that we're actually going to walk through in just a moment. All of that is going to be yours for $1 a month, okay? And so even though this offer applies only to active RWA students, our goal is to make sure that there are many, many, many options and paths for you if you chose that you wanted to continue to be an active RWA student after going through the certification program and after your coaching time ends with us. Why? Because there is a tangible cost for us to be able to cover around $12,000 per year of software per student on your behalf. And so if a student chooses to no longer be a part of the academy, then obviously their relationship would then have to be with the Client Kit directly if they wanted to go ahead and have their account be active, okay? It simply just would not make sense for us to cover thousands of students for their entire life on this software that is costing thousands of dollars a year if they are no longer enrolled in the academy, okay? And so the Client Kit is a completely different company, and so we do not handle their billing, okay? But here's a cool part about all of the different paths and options for you to continue with RWA RWA coaching if that is what it is that you decided that you wanted to do. Here's the cool part about it, okay, is that there is a difference between students joining the academy for the first time and those who actually complete certification. Any RWA student who graduates through phase 1 with their remote wellness certification is considered what we titled them as Remote Wellness Academy alumni students, okay? And so RWA alumni are actually given special options when it comes to continuing their coaching with RWA that new students who are joining the academy for the first time do not have access to. And these options include both financial and non-financial investments, okay? And in fact, there are special free options for RWA alumni students to maintain their status as active with special requirements and criteria. There are even options for RWA alumni students to join the Remote Wellness Academy and help coach other RWA students with accountability and that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like community service in order to actually maintain their active status as a student, okay? And so there are many different options. However, because the specifics of every RWA alumni situation is going to be different, when your coaching time with us is coming to a close, you will actually be getting an email. You will actually be notified about this. And then what happens is that when your time is about to come to a close, we will be meeting with every single RWA alumni student individually to discuss your specific situation and really come up with a plan for you to be able to continue being an active RWA student. Okay, so that's what I wanted to go ahead and address. So that way, any concerns that you might have in regards to you being able to maintain your active status as an RWA alumni, don't worry, we're going to be able to go ahead and talk about it when we get there. Okay, so the biggest thing that I want you to know from all of this is don't worry. You are in good hands. We will be taking care of you. And so if you choose that you want to continue being an active RWA student, we're going to help you cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so just don't forget the RWA over delivery promise, holy over delivery, Batman, right? We always want to make sure that the value that you get from RWA will always far exceed your investment. And so we're always going to make sure that we are taking care of you in that regard. Okay, so that is the second point that I wanted to go ahead and talk about in terms of what happens when my RWA program ends. The third point that we're going to go ahead and talk about right now is with great power comes great responsibility. This is very important, okay? Other than the monthly subscription cost for a software, there are per unit costs that are also involved, okay? I want you to pay attention to this. This is very important. Whenever any business sends out text messages to customers, clients, whatever, the carriers charge, right? The carriers, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, right? I don't know how it is in Canada, but different carriers charge fees to that software company in order to be able to go ahead and use the carrier's lines, okay? This is something that happens on the business side of things. And so all softwares that send out texts, calls, and emails are billed on a per unit basis based off of the provider that they are utilizing, okay? So this is not something that is specific to the Client Kit. You can go ahead and check out pricing for other companies like Simple Texting, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, Alaware, or any software that allows for customer communication. What they do is they charge a base subscription cost, plus on top of that, they charge a per unit charge based off of contacts or based off of customers or something like that, okay? Or some software companies just decide to roll them together and then they charge a markup based off of that, okay? And so the per unit charges are paid to the carriers and the email providers, okay? Now, what softwares like Simple Texting, ActiveCampaign, and all these other softwares do is that they take this per unit charge and they add like a 200% markup on those unit charges, and then they go ahead and pass it on to us as the users. And so what that means is that when you sign up for a software as a business to be able to text, communicate, or email, broadcast different customers and that kind of stuff, right? If you sign up for one of those services, not only would you be paying the base subscription cost monthly, but you would also be paying the per unit charge with the markup for sending texts, calls, and emails. Now, here's one of the great things about the Client Kit is that rather than adding markups to those per unit charges that the Client Kit has to pay the carriers, what they do is they pass those charges on to us as the users without that markup, okay? So this is something that is being paid to the carriers in order to use their platforms, okay? And so the rates that have been communicated to us by the Client Kit are as follows for US and Canada, okay? So making calls is about 2 cents per minute. Receiving calls is about 0.01 cents per minute. Text messages are about 0.015 per segment. And then emails are 0.00105 per email. So like less than a tenth of a cent per email. Okay, so I want to be 100% clear about this. This is not something that is paid to the client kit. This is a cost that the phone carriers and the email providers are collecting through the client kit that is being passed on to us as TCK users. Okay, now this is where the big warning comes in for you right now about with great power comes great responsibility. Just because you got hooked up with a $12,000 per year software for 1 penny a month does not mean that you can now take it for a joyride and do whatever it is that you want to go ahead and do with it, because you will get in trouble. And so you must listen to us very carefully, and this is very, very important. We are going to show you how to be able to use this software when it comes to SMS and email marketing and phone marketing and all that kind of stuff, okay? Do not be a student who thinks, oh, I have experience with SMS marketing and email marketing. I'm just going to go ahead and put 1,000 emails and phone numbers that I just scraped from somewhere and message everyone to see if they're interested in my program. Here's the thing. Two things are going to happen. First off, you're going to get a massive bill from the carriers, not the client kit. And the second thing is that you're going to get your account blocked by the Federal Communications Commissions, the FCC, and the email providers, okay? Yes, the FCC regulates phone carriers for spam SMS, and the email providers regulate for email broadcasting. And so any business that does SMS text message marketing or email marketing at scale is required to be able to adhere to these regulations. And so in fact, one of the tutorials that we're going to walk you through later on when we help you set up your client kit account for SMS and emails and all that kind of stuff is that you're going to have to register your phone number to be able to be registered with the FCC and the email providers. So that way you are registered as a business line with permission to do SMS and email marketing. And so unless you want the FCC and the phone carriers coming after you because you just sent 10,000 spam texts that are not according to the regulation, you weren't educated on it, and then all of a sudden your account is blocked forever and you're basically banned from doing marketing with your account, I ask that you please listen to us, okay? The ability to use these powerful tools like the client kit is really honestly a privilege that we are given. And that is a privilege that can be taken away by the regulatory agencies on a phone number and email address basis. And so when you get access to your client kit account, by all means, please click around, explore. If you want to set up your website, if you want to try to connect your domain name, if you want to do all of that, there's a bunch of support articles I'm going to show you on all that. All of that. That doesn't have to do with SMS, sending SMS and sending out emails and making phone calls and all that kind of stuff, okay? But make sure that you are either educating yourself first or waiting for us to walk you through on how we recommend using it. As long as you do that, you will not be charged anything and no fees will be charged to you because you haven't started sending out text, calls, or emails, okay? So as long as you follow the instructions, you're going to be fine. And like I said, there are going to be upcoming trainings that are going to walk you through setting up your client kit account specifically for SMS, voice, and email marketing and sending out SMS and all that kind of stuff. And then that way you can actually go ahead and monitor your usage. We're going to go ahead and show you where the detailed reports are for that. So that way you can keep an eye on any expenses that would be related to that as well. Beautiful. Now, having said that, on that note, that is the third point that we wanted to go ahead and touch on, which was with great power comes great responsibility. The final point that we're going to go ahead and touch on right now is other business expenses. Let's go ahead and talk about that right now. What else? Is there anything else that you should know about this? I want to go ahead and make this 100% clear. What we have said from the very beginning of this program is that we're going to help cover the softwares that are involved with setting up the proven repeatable process, right? The list that we have talked about that we said we were going to cover on your behalf, this is the same list that we've been talking about. Email marketing software, SMS marketing software, sales funnel, website builder, all of these softwares. I'm not going to go through it again, okay? And so at that time, when we first introduced you to the list of softwares that we were going to cover, we did not have the ability to explain to you that exactly it's going to be the client kit, this is what it's going to look like, because it's not as simple as like, hey, here's a sentence, you're going to understand exactly what's in this massive training. It doesn't work like that, right? And so yes, we are able to cover the client kit for you on a monthly basis, and all of this is going to only cost you 1 penny a month. That's going to equate to you about $12,000 a year in savings, okay? Now, this has only been made possible by the fact that we have been able to work directly with the developer of this software. This is why we are able to go ahead and foot the bill on your behalf every single month. This does not mean that we can cover every single expense that is going to happen in your business for the entire history of your business. And quite frankly, we're not even sure that we would ever be able to do that or that we would ever really want to be able to do that, right? Because the truth is that billion-dollar companies like Zoom and Google and Facebook or any of these other companies, they would not be open to working with us or making a partnership with us, okay? And so because the client kit is pretty much going to be all you really need for a very long period of time. I'm telling you right now, we do well over 6 figures a month, well over $100,000 a month, and we run everything off of the Client Kit, okay? And so what that means is that the main expense is going to be covered for you for 1 penny a month. We cannot take care of all of the expenses in your business. Things like taxes, accounting fees, advertising spend, right? Your Zoom account, your Google account, right? Quite frankly, we have no way to be able to do that. And it would be quite frankly silly for anyone to think that we would be able to do that. Okay. And so I want to go ahead and make the normal offer that I have made every single time that we have talked about finances and us covering finances is that if you are one of those students who has decided not to be a remote wellness practitioner because there might be some expenses that you will have to pay out of pocket for yourself in your remote wellness practice to be able to make $100,000 a year income, even though you are getting the Client Kit for 1 penny per month, then please make sure that you go ahead and email our support team at support@remotewellnessacademy.com and we'll figure something else out for you because quite frankly, this career choice might not be the best for you if you're in scarcity, make money now mode, okay? However, for all the other students, we hope that our effort on our end to be able to come and get the Client Kit for you for a penny a month comes through as something that we are working hard to be able to provide remarkable value for you as an RWA student, okay? So I just wanted to go ahead and make that very clear in regards to other business expenses as well. And so those are the 4 very important points that I did want to go ahead and touch on as we are starting to get into the more tactical pieces of this training. And so before I go ahead and give you that special link for you to go out there and start creating your Client Kit account so that way you can go ahead and start getting all of the other aspects of your business launch, like the website and the funnels and the blogs and all of that other stuff that you're going to be able to use in the text messages and all that kind of stuff. What we're going to go ahead and do in the tail end of this training is I want to go ahead and summarize for you everything that you are going to be getting as a part of this offer. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and do that via a method called a stack slide. Now, you might be familiar, and stack slides are very fun. You might be familiar with a stack slide or a sales stack in general. Whenever there are those like infomercials where they say, but wait, there's more, right? And so we're going to go ahead and have a little bit of fun. And we're going to actually go through piece by piece every single part of what you are going to get access to and the value that is associated with what you are going to get access to as well. And the reason that we're going to go ahead and explain everything in this format in like the kind of infomercial stack slide way and go ahead and kind of attribute dollar values for that amount is not because we're trying to be inauthentic or scammy. Instead, it's because we're truthfully, honestly, extremely proud of what it is that we have been able to offer our students for basically free, a penny per month. And we really want to be able to have a little bit of fun with it. Okay. Why? Because here's the truth. When we started out, we joined program after program after program, and they never provided all of the support that was needed. They never provided all of the education that was needed. They never provided all of the tools that were needed, right? It was like a puzzle piece, and you'd have to go from one program to another program to another guru to another guru, and they tell you, hey, sign up for this software and go do this and go do this. And so honestly, for us, it's a little bit emotional for us to be able to think, man, if this is the type of program that we had when we had actually started, our lives would be completely different. And so we do get emotional thinking about how much value we're providing because we really feel like we're going out there and being able to help the 10-year version of ourselves ago when we first started. Right? And so we're about to go ahead and really go ahead and explain the stack slide of value is because of the fact that we're genuinely proud and excited of what you are going to get rewarded as a loyal RWA student. And so yeah, we're going to have some fun with it. Okay. So what we're going to go ahead and do is let's go ahead and get into the stack and what is everything that you are going to get. This is going to be super fun. So number 1, let's go ahead and get this rocking and rolling. What you're going to get for a penny a month, the total value. Let's go ahead and add it up. As an active RWA student for 1 penny every single month, you are going to get number 1, the Client Kit Premium, just a list of a few things that the Client Kit Premium is going to take care of for you every single month. 2-way text messaging portal, contact manager, CRM, sales pipeline, sales funnel, scheduling appointments, social media planner, surveys and forms, website builder and hosting, courses and classroom, payment terminal, invoices, text messages, email reminders, automated appointment reminders, automated social media posting, advanced CRM, unlimited calendars and appointments, unlimited sales funnels, unlimited workflows and automations, unlimited surveys and forms, call tracking and advanced reporting, ads tracking, analytics reporting, and so much more, okay? And then based on what the Client Kit team has told us, the average TCK user saves $1,000 per month the second they start using the software because all of the stuff that you can get rid of from this day going forward, all of the stuff that you can never have to worry about ever again, can get rid of your email marketing software, your SMS marketing software, your landing page software, your split testing software, your sales funnel software, your membership software, your website builder, your call tracking, your survey and forms. You can get rid of your scheduling, booking, calendar, and appointment software, CRM and pipeline management software, tracking and analytics software. You can get rid of the website hosting. You get rid of your shopping cart. Get rid of the email autoresponder, text message autoresponder. Get rid of that stuff. Fire the programmers, fire the designers, fire the webmasters, fire the tech guys. You no longer need any of it. All of this normally for $997 a month, around $12,000 per year. And just so you know, it's not some fake made up value. You can go to the Client Kit's website right now and check for yourself, www.theclientkit.com, $997 per month. You are going to get access to for one penny. So let's go ahead and get the stack slide rocking. What you're going to get, the Client Kit Premium value, $11,964 per year. You are going to be getting access to. Well, what else? What else do you need in order to be successful? Well, what about support? Normally, the Client Kit users, they have 24-hour email support, but the Client Kit offers something called priority support for an additional add-on fee monthly. It includes live chat support, so that way you can get your questions answered immediately, okay? And a lot of times the priority support team, they'll even log into your account and just do the things for you. Along with priority support comes an entire help library that literally has an article and a video for every small thing and how to do it inside of the software. Not only that, but every single time that you log into the Client Kit, you're going to notice that things get better and better and better. Why? Because the Client Kit spends over $250,000 every month on their support to make sure that their platform keeps getting better and better. All of that is what we told them we wanted to go ahead and provide for RWA students. And guess what? That's exactly what we got. So going forward, all RWA students, the Client Kit accounts will have priority support with the help library and constant software updates. So I just want to make sure you wouldn't be upset if we added that in there as a bonus for you for one penny a month, right? I just want to make sure. So what does the stack side look like? What you're going to get, the Client Kit Premium, now with priority support, value $997, total value $12,961. But wait, there's more. What else do you need? What about the exact step-by-step blueprint on how to use the Client Kit to make $100,000 with your remote wellness practice? Sure, yes, the Client Kit's going to provide the support on what buttons to click inside of their software, but the Client Kit is just a tool, right? How are you going to use that tool in order to be successful, right? What about the strategy? How are you going to use it with the RWA method? This is what we call the RWA step-by-step 100K walkthrough. Throughout the rest of the entire RWA program that you are a part of right now, we are going to walk you through step-by-step on how to actually use TCK, the Client Kit, for your remote wellness practice, so that way you can create a $10,000 a month plus income using it, okay? And guess what? We've used TCK to get over $100,000 a month. And so if that's what you wanted to do as well, TCK is going to be able to help you with that as well. So I just want to make sure, all for a penny a month. Is it okay if we over deliver? I just want to make sure that you are not going to be upset if we decided to go ahead and over deliver. So stack slide, what are you going to get? The Client Kit Premium, priority support, RWA step-by-step 100K walkthrough, value $7,997, total value $20,958. I told you this was going to be fun. But wait, there's more. What else do you need? Well, what about proven text and email campaigns? What is the exact text messages or emails to send out, and in what sequence to be able to get somebody to show up for their appointment? What about when one of your students actually goes MIA from the program? How do you get them to reply? When a student actually fails their payment and their credit card doesn't go through, what is the campaign and the sequence of texts and emails, and in what frequency that is going to get them to actually reply and pay their bills, right? These are not things that are included in TCK out of the box, right? It's just a blank account with a blank canvas, and you got to go in there and create all of those digital assets yourself. And so we at RWA have hundreds of text message campaigns, email campaigns, MIA client campaigns, failed payment campaigns, reminder campaigns, and so many other proven campaigns that we have already spent years refining and perfecting the word on them. And so does it make sense for you to go out there and build all of that from scratch? No, that would be plain silly. And so we've gone ahead and put together what we call the RWA plug and play proven playbook. Okay. And so I just want to make sure that would it be all right? Would it be all right if we went ahead and included all of those campaigns that we have created, tested, and proven for you as a part of what it is that you are getting every single month for one penny a month? Would it be okay? I just want to make sure that you want to be upset. So what does the stack slide look like now? The Client Kit Premium, priority support, RWA, step-by-step, 100K walkthrough, plug and play, proven playbook, value $4,997, total value $25,955. But is that it? But wait, there's more. What else do you need? What about digital assets? Probably one of the most expensive things that you can do when starting an online income is getting all of your digital assets up and running. What about the website template? What about the sales funnel? What is the sales funnel that converts the best? What design do you use on your calendar? What are all of the automations that you got to run in order to connect everything together? Again, the Client Kit provides nothing out of the box. It's just a blank template, and you got to go in there and create all of these things by yourself, right? So here's the thing. We went ahead and put together something called the RWA Copy and Paste Asset Library. What is it? We literally have built out dozens of website templates, funnel templates, calendar templates, automations, color palettes, design CSS codes that we have already spent years and thousands of dollars creating and developing. Last year, we wanted to go ahead and update our website, so we bought 30 plus website templates for $97 each, added up to $3,000 total, more than that, and then we hired a designer to customize those templates for us. Yeah, sure, you can go out there and do the same, but does that really make sense, right? Why don't we just give you all of those templates customized by the designer so that way you can choose which ones you like and go ahead and edit them for what it is that you want? And why not make it as easy as one click? Remember? That's literally what we wanted from the Client Kit, and we spent all of this time building out the logistical infrastructure to be able to make that happen. In fact, when you go ahead and make your TCK account based off the logistical infrastructure that they've gone ahead and built for us, is that you're going to be assigned as a sub-account under the RWA admin account. What does that mean? It means that we can go ahead and copy and paste things into your account. It doesn't matter what it is. We can literally import anything into your account. And so I just want to make sure, would it be all right if we added all of that as a free bonus for you just for $1 a month? So let's see what the stack slide looks like. What you're going to get: the Client Kit Premium, priority support, RWA step-by-step, 100K walkthrough, plug and play, proven playbook, RWA copy and paste asset library, value $4,997, total value $30,952. I told you guys this was going to be so much fun. But wait, there's more. Oh man, how long is it going to go on for? What about updates? Business and the market is always evolving and changing, right? What worked today may not work tomorrow. To this day, we are actually creating new resources on a daily basis based on the different needs of the market, right? A sales funnel that we used yesterday may not work tomorrow, right? We hire designers and developers all the time to create something new and customized for us. We're testing all the time. We go ahead and create new text message reminder sequence that gets them to be able to follow the program better, right? We are learning all the time. We are a part of $30,000 masterminds where people who are doing millions every single year are sharing what's working for them. And then what we do is we learn all of that stuff and we go ahead and build it inside of our Client Kit account, right? And so we're able to go ahead and do this because at our size and based on how many students that we are working with, we're able to do these things at scale that would otherwise be difficult for each individual RWA student to do by themselves alone. And so we hire the developers, we hire the designers, we customize, we test, we learn, and we build. Why not share that with you on an ongoing basis regularly? So why not give you access to the latest and greatest in marketing, sales, and product assets? And guess what? You guessed it, copied and pasted into your Client Kit account. Now, as always, I just want to make sure, would you be okay if we went ahead and included that for you at no additional cost? I just want to make sure that you want to be upset. And so what does the stack side look like? The Client Kit Premium, priority support, RWA step-by-step, $100,000 walkthrough, plug and play, proven playbook, RWA copy and paste asset library, and then ongoing updates and releases. Value $2,997. Total value $33,949. And guess what? For you, as an active RWA student, how much is it going to be for you every single month? All of that for $1 a month. How awesome was that, right? $33,949 worth of value for a penny, just for being an RWA student. Raise the roof, holy over delivery, Batman. RWA is amazing. And that's not even the coolest part about this, okay? You want to know what the coolest part about all of this is? Is that the $33,949 whopping value that you are getting is from this value stack alone. What about the actual RWA program itself? What about all of the other value that you've been getting and will continue to get from the actual program itself? What about the becoming process, the health education, the coaching education, the done-for-you, do-it-yourself scripts, the rest of the launch training that is located inside of this module? What about the actual remote wellness wellness certification? What about all of the income and business training that is still in the second half of this program in phase 2? And so much more. What is the value of you learning the skills for you to be able to create $100,000 income every year for the rest of your life that this program is going to provide you? What would the value stack for that actually look like? Well, hold on to your seats because this is going to be awesome. Okay. Are you ready? What you're going to get as an RWA student, stack the value, stack the value, stack the value, stack the value, skills to make $100,000 a year every year for the rest of your life. Total value, mind blown. I gotta let this GIF just play out here. I love it. Total value, mind blown. Okay. Now, on a serious note, I really want to go ahead and kind of put a serious touch to this here for a second. Is that remember our goal for this program, right? Even though we're having a lot of fun through this, we go to stack slide, all this kind of stuff. I always want you to keep in mind what our goal for this program is, because for us, it's very serious. The value that RWA students would receive from this program would be so great that they would have a hard time not telling their friends and family about how much amazing value is in this program, right? Remarkable. And so the question is this remarkable value yet? Because remember, our vision is to provide every human on the planet with the tools and education that they need in order to be able to live a life of wellness, to be able to thrive. And that's not going to happen by us saying and talking about how great remote wellness is, right? Our mission to be able to create 1 million remote wellness practitioners is not going to happen because we think remote wellness is amazing. It's only going to happen by you talking to your friends and family, by you going out there and transforming more lives. And ultimately, that is the motivating factor for us to continue to provide value on a regular basis. Because remember, money isn't the goal. After a certain point, that's not the thing. Money becomes the fuel. Money becomes the thing that allows you to be able to get to where it is that you want to go. And where we're trying to go is to be able to impact every single human on the planet. And so maybe, just maybe, that you thought that we were kidding when we said, hey, the best is yet to come in all those previous trainings. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is still so much in store for you that I cannot wait for you to actually be able to experience all of that as well as we start to close out this training, all right? And so I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm very, very genuinely sincere about this. This is coming not from me. It's coming from the entire RWA team. You guys see me making these trainings. I'm the voice behind all of this. But the truth is we have an amazing team behind the scenes that helps put these trainings together, the RWA coaches, the support staff, everybody that comes together. This is the mission that we live and breathe to be able to provide you value. And so I just hope that comes through, even though it might be thousands of miles away. I don't know how you're listening to this. You might be in your room. You might be, on an airplane. You might be somewhere in your car. I don't know. But I just hope it comes through all of this internet and all of this stuff through the screen that we genuinely are here to just provide as much value as we can. And we genuinely care for your success because our interests are aligned. Okay. Now, with that being said, as we really start to close out this training, you're starting to see exactly why we had to go through this entire process, right? As we start to wrap up this training, you're going to start to see, hey, this was the reason why we had to go through this extensive training to really provide and explain the value that you're receiving here. Now, there's still going to be some students who are going to say, hey, if TCK was going to be a penny all along, why did we have to go through this entire training to be able to make a big deal out of this? Well, the reason is because number one, we already told you that we're going to make a big deal out of this from the very beginning, okay? But the real reason behind this is that people throw away things that they don't know are valuable. And so we wanted for you to be able to understand the true value of what it is that you are getting. And we had to emphasize that in order for that to really stick in your mind so that way you'd actually value it and pay attention to it, okay? And so here's the belief and a fact about human beings that really has been proven. Those who pay attention. Those who pay more attention. And so we have seen from experience of just giving students something without explaining the value that there are so many students that end up not valuing it and not doing anything with it, even though there are other people who are actually out there paying $12,000 a year for it. But if you're not explaining the value, you never actually do anything with it, right? And so because of the fact that those people who do that, they don't understand how big of a deal getting this resource is and how it's able to change the trajectory of their income online and how it's an absolute game changer. And so without this entire long-winded explanation, the value of what you were given would not be clear and you wouldn't realize how much of an opportunity and a gift this is, especially for those students who have never made an income online before or even had a business. They are especially especially the ones who don't pay attention because of the fact that they are not explained the value first. And so yes, we had to sell you over $30,000 in value for just a penny. So that way your brain would actually put importance to all of this. All right. Now, as we start to close out this entire training, I do want to go ahead and quickly mention some important ClientKit mentions. Number one, we're going to be very tactical about this. Okay. So no more fun around this. We gotta be serious here. So number one, the ClientKit priority support. So once you make your account, you can actually go ahead and start using the ClientKit priority support through the left panel by clicking on the help library. Now, I know this entire screen might not make sense to you right now, but once you actually go ahead and create your ClientKit account, it will. Okay. So all you got to do is you go over to the left side, you click on help library, or you can go ahead and click on the black question mark at the top right as well. And that is going to go ahead and get you access to the ClientKit priority support. And so once you actually click on that, what's going to end up happening is that it's going to show up with a side panel that looks like this. All right. And what's going to happen here is that in this side panel is basically every article and video that highlights every single small thing and how to be able to do it within the ClientKit software and how to be able to use it and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So that is within all of this. It's going to walk you through that if you needed that. All right. Just be careful. Remember, we talked about the per unit charges that go out to the carriers and the email providers. Be very careful about that. If you're not sure, make sure you ask. Okay. And then the second thing is that you can also go ahead and access the email and chat support by using this icon at the bottom right. Okay, so exactly the same way, very similarly, all software companies do this, and we kind of picked it up on there, very similarly to how you actually ask for support inside of the Remote Wellness Academy classroom. Right at the bottom right, we have that icon. So the ClientKit very similarly has a very similar system, but when you click on theirs, it opens up for you to be able to actually go in and either email or use their live chat support. So their live chat support hours are 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. PST, okay, so they're in a different time zone, PST, and during those hours, you will be able to actually go ahead and start a chat with them, okay, so this is what their chat box looks like. If it says start chat, that means it's during their working hours, okay. If it's outside of those hours, then you're going to be able to go ahead and create a ticket, and they have their entire system here, so you can go ahead and create a ticket, and their typical response time is 24 business hours, and then you can also go ahead and use their contact us tab on here. I've kind of used this in some situations as well. But 9 times out of 10, I usually go in and just create a ticket, but it is worth exploring on here because once you actually click, like, I have a billing question, they have certain support articles that will be able to walk you through answering your question without having to email and chat and all that kind of stuff. So it is worth going ahead and going through the contact us tab as well. That is the first tactical mention I did want to go ahead and point out as we close out this training. The second thing I want to go ahead and point out is the ClientKit card on file. So you can update and change your card on file to make sure that it's active for that 1 penny a month, okay? And so just to make sure that it's active for that 1 penny a month, and especially this is going to be more relevant, I know we're joking, but it's going to be more relevant when you actually start doing the SMS and the email marketing, and this is going to be relevant for all those carrier and email provider fees and that kind of stuff. Now, I want to go ahead and clear this up very quickly, that even though I'm talking about it like fees, I'll be honest, we send like hundreds of thousands of like texts and emails and that kind of stuff. And our bill every single month is like $30, $40, $50. Like, it's not like the amount of revenue that we generate from the actual like emails and text messages that we send is like hundreds of thousands of dollars compared to like 1 cent or something crazy like that. So it's not like crazy, but I'm going to walk you through later on in upcoming trainings how to monitor that. So I just want to go ahead and let you know for that. But in terms of how to update your card, there is going to be the settings at the bottom left of the ClientKit, okay? And then what you're going to do is when you get over to that settings tab, you're going to go ahead and go over to company billing, and it's going to have your active card on file here. And then you can see what the billing history looks like on here for your penny a month. And then it'll also show you the credits that you have. And then also you can see the details of your usage in terms of SMS and email marketing and phone calls and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And so that's going to be where you can go ahead and get access to that and change and update all of your card information inside of your actual TCK account. After that, really quickly, I want to go ahead and touch on the difference between TCK support and RWA support. So because technically we do have admin access, right? The ClientKit team has given us admin access for RWA students. We are able to provide some limited support. And I want to clarify here, only certain RWA team members are able to do that, right? Because we have some certain security protocols in place, right? And so we are able to provide some limited support. But the truth is that you really should reach out to TCK whenever it has anything to do with what buttons to click within their software, that's TCK. And then when it's about the strategy of how to actually use the software, that's RWA, right? So if you have any questions that are like TCK specific, right, there's only so much that we would be able to help you with because we're just users pretty much like you. Yeah, we have admin access and yeah, we're a little bit more advanced in that, but for the most part, we're just users like you are. And so it goes without saying that if you reach out to either RWA or TCK using the incorrect support channels, the speed of which you're going to get that support is going to be delayed. So just make sure that you're reaching out through the appropriate support channels, the right questions, all of that kind of stuff, so that way you can get the support that you're looking for. And then finally, the last mention I want to go ahead and point out here is in regards to the ClientKit phone app. And so once you actually get up and running, and once you actually go ahead and you're booking appointments with clients or students or prospects or whatever, and you start texting back and forth, all this kind of stuff, what's going to happen is that there's actually a phone app. Now I want to clarify, the phone app has limited functionality compared to the actual desktop version, the actual computer version, but it is helpful when you're kind of on the go, right? So it's available on Android and iPhone, and it's known as the Lead Connector app. Okay, that is going to be what you need to make sure that you type in there. And Lead Connector app is going to be the actual TCK app. Now, I want to go ahead and emphasize one more time. The phone app is extremely limited to the on-the-go activities, okay? The main usage that you're going to have of the ClientKit is going to be on a computer browser with an internet connection, okay? So those are 4 quick mentions I wanted to go ahead and point out tactically, so that way you were on the same page with that. And then let's go ahead and talk about creating your actual ClientKit account and getting access to everything that we've gone ahead and talked to. So in the resources section, under this training, there is going to be a link that is going to take you up to sign up to the $997, the ClientKit premium plan for 1 penny per month. Okay, so what's going to happen is it's going to actually walk you through the $997 process, and it's going to be like, hey, you got to pay $997. But what's going to happen is that there's a special instructions with a special promo code to enter at checkout, and when you follow those instructions, you can actually see it. It's going to go ahead and drop down your monthly payment from $997 all the way to that 1 penny. Okay, so once you follow their instructions, what's going to happen is that your TCK account is going to be automatically created, and an email is going to be sent to your email that you registered with your login information. So this is a screenshot that I went ahead and pulled out of a test account that I went ahead and created for you guys really quickly. And this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so it says, hey Yasin, here's your username, here's your password, and here's the link to actually go ahead and log in. And then of course, remember, every month, as long as you are an active RWA student, your share of that subscription cost will be only 1 penny, and RWA will take care of the remaining $996.99 on your behalf every month, as long as you're an active RWA student. And remember, like we talked about, there's many options that we can talk about once you actually get to that point, okay? And then what's going to happen is that throughout this module and throughout the rest of this entire program, and we walk you through how to actually do the advertising and the marketing and how to be able to, do all the other stuff. That's when we're going to be walking you through how to be able to get access to the other bonuses. Like for example, later on inside of this module, we're going to be walking you through on how to set up your website. Well, that's going to be a part of the copy and paste asset library that we talked about in terms of the value stack. And so that's what we're going to go ahead and walk you through how to be able to get all of those templates and start customizing and all of that. So for the sake of this training, you're just going to go in and you're going to go ahead and create your ClientKit account, and then you can use the help library if you want to go ahead and start messing around. You want to start, kind of exploring. Remember, be careful about some of the other stuff that we talked about, but if you want to hook your domain to this, if you want to start building out your website, you want to start messing around with the features, feel free to do so, as long as you are being careful. Do not come back to us and say, oh, I made a mistake, I got blocked, I spammed a bunch of text messages, I got a bill from the carriers, all this kind of stuff. That's on you. Okay, we're giving you specific warning for all of this. And so that ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, is the glue that is going to hold your system together. This has been this entire training to walk you through this entire process. Let's go ahead and talk about your engagement question for this training. So there's going to be 3 questions that we'd like for you to answer. Number 1, fill in the blank. I thought this training was, or this training for me was. What did you like and enjoy about this training? What are your thoughts on this training? So you can just pick whatever you want. Hey, what are your thoughts on this training as a whole? Just kind of give us your feedback there. What are some of the biggest takeaways or ahas that you had from this training? And then number 3, do you have any questions about anything that was discussed inside of this training as well. I know that there wasn't a lot of training per se for you to learn new things, but in terms of the insights or ahas or takeaways or thoughts that you had, maybe it's about the RWA over delivery promise. Maybe you have some questions or some feedback about, man, your guys' vision and your mission. Like, you guys were, maybe you're really inspired about that. Maybe that was something that really stuck out to you. Maybe you want to give us feedback in terms of appreciation and thanks. Whatever it is that you want to go ahead and let us know, as well as any questions that you might have as well. Just a quick reminder on asking questions. Please make sure that you are going ahead and tagging the RWA coaches page when you are actually going ahead and doing this, because if we don't get a tag for any of the RWA coaches, we're not going to know that you actually had a question in the comments. It is very easy for us to be able to miss that. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments that are coming in on a regular basis, okay? And so just make sure that you are actually commenting on the student community post for that specific training with the actual question that you have, if it's related to that training. And if your question does not get answered, right? If somebody misses your question, if the tag doesn't come through, if the notification doesn't come through, make sure that you actually go ahead and reach out to us using the support icon at the bottom right of your student classroom, okay? Or you can go ahead and shoot us an email at support@remotewellnessacademy.com, letting us know, hey, I had a question about XYZ training, and then we'll get into the student community and answer that for you. And of course, this goes without saying, but I do want to go ahead and remind you, please allow for 24 business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. CST is the typical response time on there. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about your action steps for this specific training. Of course, as always, make sure you go ahead and watch and study this training in full. That's number one. Number two, make sure you go ahead and complete the engagement questions for this training, the ones that we just went ahead and talked about. And then number three, go ahead and follow the instructions to go ahead and create your Client Kit premium account following the special link. Okay, remember, out of the $997 per month, you're going to be covering one penny. The other $996.99 RW is going to take care of on your behalf every single month. Make sure you do follow the instructions carefully. Feel free to click around and discover the software. Just be careful not to send any texts, emails, or phone calls right now. We're going to be walking you through all of that in upcoming trainings, and the help library and support library is there for you as well. So with that being said, I am super pumped, because this really is the foundation. This training right here really laid out not only the value, but the glue that holds your entire system together. So now we can start putting together your student community. We can really start putting together your support. We can really start putting together your intake form and your onboarding and all of that other stuff. This is what we were waiting for. This is what we had to put together. So that way it wasn't like we were going ahead and sending you off to 10 gazillion different softwares. Okay. So this is what we had to put together. And now all of a sudden it's going to be action, going ahead and getting your remote wellness practice launched. So that way you can get rocking and rolling. So this is Coach Yasin checking out, and I will catch you inside of the next training.